coaches have been huge. Even if you don't talk to them one-on-one, maybe you're shy at first and you just sit and you listen, the value you can get from just hearing them answer other people's questions who are probably facing the same challenges that you will be facing, those are invaluable. Because if you take one thing from every coaching call, you're going to be implementing 5 new things a week, 4 or 5 new things a week. And I mean, for me, even just implementing 1 or 2 things changed the game, changed my conversion rate.
What's going on in your life, your business? What led you looking for a solution like Meskula?
So honestly, I had run lead gen in the past. I'd done online ads and I was working within a CRM. I never had really any experience prior to that. A lot of the leads, I would say, just got lost in the trade winds because I wasn't following up. I didn't have any workflows in place, no email campaign, text campaign, anything like that. It was like a one call, and if they didn't answer, I'd leave a voicemail, see you later. So I never had any serious follow-up inside of my CRM. And I saw an ad pop up from Meskula, it caught my attention. And got on the call. Basically what I did is I interviewed the hell out of Josh, the guy who signed me up, maybe 2 or 3 times. He kind of gave me the rundown of the whole system. It sounded great to me. And I mean, I just jumped on it. I said, well, what is there to lose if you spend $2,000 a month, per se, and you make 1 sale? Well, hey, you just made, let's say, 10 grand. So nothing wrong with that. Since joining, if you want me to continue, I have, the leads flow in. My leads in the past were maybe 60% bad, 40% good. I would say on Meskula it's probably 20% bad, 80% good. They're all quality leads. I get them on the phone, they're talking, we're having wonderful conversations, 20, 30 minutes long, talking about things that don't even relate to real estate. So that just goes to show the quality of the leads, right?
Check this out. You mentioning something that is key, the quality of the leads. And I love Meskula, and I actually work with and for Meskula, but I wouldn't want to put everything on Meskula in terms of the quality. I also do want to acknowledge who's on the other end and who's calling the leads, and which is you, Luke. And something that I've been having to experience with you is that you have done so great with these conversations. Obviously, you have experience, and we can definitely talk a little bit about the experience. But in terms of the now, with the leads that you have with Meskula, tell me a little bit about the conversations. I know there's objections, I know there's rebuttals, and I know there's great conversations. You know, so everything that you can find with these leads. But what would you say would be some important highlights throughout the conversations?
So I'll just start from the beginning. And the first lead I ever got, they booked a phone conversation. I called him up, and he was the rudest guy you could ever think of. I gave him his number. He wasn't happy with the range I provided him. I said, hey, I know I give you this range. You know, this is just over the phone, sight and seeing. If I come and put boots on the ground and see your property, the number could well be higher. He said, no freaking way. You're not coming in my house. And put me on the phone. And, I was so discouraged after that first one. And I realized, I don't have a script. I'm calling these people, they don't know who I am. I'm not building like a good relationship with them. So what I did the next hour or 2 hours, I sat down and I wrote like a beautiful script. And the next 3 calls I had after that, I think it was the next day, I put through 3 in-person appointments.
Wow.
That just goes to show you can start out, and sure, you have a script. You may not be as genuine as you possibly could be, but at least you know what to say. So that's how
So many people think, and I mean agents think, that being prepared means knowing about the comparables, knowing about the area, knowing about their home, and just knowing about all those little things that have to do with the property alone. But I think they're missing also one important factor that you're mentioning, the readiness to speak with them. Yes, I may have all the resources, and I may know everything about their home, and even some things about them as homeowners. But how ready am I to speak with them on the phone? How structured am I to speak with them on the phone? It may be that we may go verbatim. You said creating the script was something that you did, which a few people do, like really, really low few. But then again, you were diving into conversations with a structure. It may sound verbatim to begin with, but I'm sure for a fact that progressively it became you. Now you've figured out a way, like found a way through a great structure of a conversation to get to these people to meet with you. Is that kind of how it went?
100%. So when I built the script, it wasn't word for word, line for line. It was points. So the first point was, hey, introduce yourself. Then start talking about a bit about their home, what they signed up for, the home evaluation. And then from there, you start asking them more personal questions, small talk, get them talking, open up a bit. And then once they mention a specific topic or anything they're interested in, then use that to relate with them. So basically, the script was like introduce home, talk a little bit maybe about the neighborhood or what you know about their property. You have 2 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. You bought it in 1955. Great. And then get them talking. And once you get them talking, you go completely off script. Just have a conversation like how you would have with your friend, And that's
Exactly.
people that trust.
I was just thinking that we're human beings, and although we don't know each other, I think the best way to kick up a conversation is come with trust, come genuine, who you are, right? Build that relationship, and progressively they'll learn that you're someone worth trusting. Because keep in mind, we're talking to strangers. Although they have although they have, just to be safe, they have the minimal interest of looking into selling into the market. Let's not forget that we're talking to strangers, and so having to build rapport. Having to build rapport and come off as someone they can trust. It's actual. It's key to making sure that we progress to an in-person appointment or sell. But let me ask you this. I know that once again we've been live probably for about 2 3 months now at this point. Tell me a little bit about the process so far. I mean, how many, let's say, for example, in-person appointments you had up to this point?
How many do I have? Honestly, I've had over 10. I can't tell you the exact number because some of the people are scattered back and forth between my different stages. But I've had definitely over 10. The first few I showed up with, some nice printed information. And then after seeing what Nick already does, how prepared he is with his book, his like listing presentation, comparables, everything, and beautiful booklet, I went ahead, printed some of those for myself. And I printed about 15. I would say maybe I have like 3 left. So I would say I've probably done 15 in-person appointments. And every single one of them is over an hour long. And I can say we probably talk about the house and the housing market for 20 minutes of that hour. So for 40 minutes, me and that person are chilling, sitting on the couch, sitting at the table, just talking about personal stuff.
Wow. And I just checked the date. It's exactly 2 months and a week. So
Okay.
we're looking at 2 months and a week. You've met at least 10 people. So that tells me that each month visiting an average of 5 to 6 people a month. So
Yeah.
what does that look like? That looks like you're meeting with someone each week. That is
Yeah.
crazy. Those are some crazy numbers.
Well, some weeks I have like 3 or 4 appointments, and then other weeks I don't have any. But it's been good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the key is to convert the phone appointments to the listing appointments. So especially when someone books into your personal calendar, they want to talk to you. So those people, I would say like 8 out of 10 times, I'm going to convert them to in person if they are within that, let's say, 6 month window of opportunity.
Wow, I'm telling you, those are some crazy numbers. So 8 out of 10 people, and actually, we just talking about coaches and Nick Moretti right now. That we were going over. Right now, we just got off a session with Barry Jenkins, and he said that his team, he urges his team to at least 70% of the time shoot for the in-person appointment. Like you have to go ahead and do that, right? And obviously, that there no relation. It has to be with like selling, but more so prepping to sell. And what am I saying? Essentially, you are fearless. You're going after the in-person appointment, which is awesome, and your numbers show. But you also mentioned something about Nick Moretti and the coaching sessions. How are those? Have those been helpful? Meskula has coaches or has something going on for everyone every day of the week. And Nick Moretti, Jake Nicole, Barry Jenkins, David Rubio. What do you think of those? Have those been helpful?
Oh, absolutely. They've changed the game for me. I was talking to people, I was okay, nothing special. You wouldn't hear my call and say, wow, I want to do calls like this guy. But when I listen to those people, all I do is I take, like from Barry Jenkins, I just took the approach, care for them. Don't be pushy and care for them. And then with Nick Moretti, I took the approach of showing up to the appointment prepared, and also on the phone call, he doesn't say it like it's a psychological thing, but he gets them laughing. He breaks the ice really well, and there is psychology behind that, because if you make someone laugh, the next thing you do is ask them for business. So they laugh and their guard goes right down. And that's when you shoot your shot. It's like boxing. When you see that hand drop, you hit them with the jab. So that's a great way to do it.
What a great advice. So what you're telling me right now is make sure you take advantage of those high emotional peaks, great conversation, when they're laughing, when they're giggling, when they're having to speak with you and relating with you. It's the time to shoot for the in-person appointment, essentially. Don't wait for a dull moment. Don't wait for silence. Don't wait for awkwardness. You'll get nowhere. But instead, I think what I just got from you here is instead be aware. Really be aware. Sharp ears.
You don't necessarily have to shoot for the in-person appointment at that moment. So if it's early on in the call and I make them laugh, you can ask them something like, hey, I saw you said you're 12 months out. What's your motivation behind selling? Like get to the hard questions that you want to know the answer to, that they may be a little bit more resistant to if you just ask them out of the blue. But if you have them laughing, it's always best after a laugh to ask I don't want to call it a difficult question, but a more evasive question that they might try and evade if they weren't in that particular mood.
Wow, that's a lot. There's a lot of value. You're sharing a lot of great tips for those who are going to be watching this video. And I do have, I guess, two last questions, and we come in towards the end here. But tell me just a bit. I'm talking about just a little bit about your experience with Meskula since offboarding up until now. How has it been? Has there been any highlights? Have you said, oh, this is great? Well, actually, I don't like this. You can definitely tell me either or. But the experience overall, since onboarding up until this day.
So, I mean, I don't really have any complaints. A lot of growth, I would say, is a major factor. The coaches have been huge. Even if you don't talk to them one-on-one, maybe you're shy at first and you just sit and you listen. The value you can get from just hearing them answer other people's questions who are probably facing the same challenges that you will be facing, that's invaluable, because if you take one thing from every coaching call, you're going to be implementing 5 new things a week, 4 or 5 new things a week. And I mean, for me, even just implementing 1 or 2 things changed the game, changed my conversion rates, and put more business on the table. So if you're taking away 4 or 5 different nuggets, as we call them, a week, you will level up quite quickly, especially if you're coming in as a new agent.
So there's a lot of value being shared amongst the agents, amongst the coaches. So there's networking, there's a support system that you find it valuable. I love that. And I guess I'll end with this question, and so we can wrap it up and expect the second part, because we're talking about Luke meeting already 10 people the first 2 months. It's just a matter of time. Next thing you know, snowball effect will kick in. I'm expecting next month or so, or the next 2 months, maybe those kicking in 2 at a time, each of the months. So with that being said, what would you say to other agents who are considering working with Meskula?
I mean, it's a great opportunity. Take it and take everything you can. I always tell people, like when you're starting out in a new job, you may not like the job, but learn everything you can from that job, because one day you can take it and use it for yourself, right? So same thing with Meskula. Sign up and learn as much as you possibly can, and it will benefit your business. The only thing that's holding people back is their resistance to work, right? So the more you want to learn, the more you are going to apply it, the better you're going to do. Consistency is key with anything. And I mean, Meskula is just an extra hand on your back, pushing you along the way.
Wow, man, that's deep. So mindset is everything. So if you show up, and if you when I'm talking about show up, but don't just show up, actually show out. We heard this before. And that's something that Luke does so well. He attends the coaching sessions, the one-on-ones. He makes the calls. He follows up with people, emails, text messages, and phone numbers. And we see it based on numbers. At least 10 people he's met the first 2 months, and he's sharing with us that mindset is pretty much everything. So the willingness for you, all of you, to kind of give it all will determine the outcome. So what do you say, Luke? Would you have any last words before we end this time?
Victor, we forgot to mention too, I have a listing coming this week. So 10 people in one listing. But more in the pipeline, but one of them was really quick. One phone call, one meeting, got it signed on the spot. So that's another highlight we missed. But if you want me to go ahead and say some last words on this.
All right. Yeah, you stay tuned for the second part. This is just the beginning. But yeah, let's go ahead and end this time with some last word, if you may, whatever those may be.
Yeah, so the number one thing is to show up and just learn. Meskula it's great. The CRM is easy to use. The ads run well, convert well. And anyone can use this. However, it's not going to be your ticket to success. In terms of a system, it's a great system. It's fully programmed. You have all the workflows. Every single lead in my pipeline is getting emails, is getting texts, my name is popping up on their computer or phone multiple times a month, multiple times a week sometimes. So you're staying on the top of their mind, right? So Meskula does help with the follow-up, which honestly is impossible to follow up with 100, 1,000, 5,000 people. It's impossible. So to have a fine-tuned system like this, it's the nail in the coffin. Once you can refine the conversion skills you need talking on the phone and in person, you put those three together and you can't lose, right?
Let's go. You guys heard it. Please stay tuned. This is just the first part. At least, we're talking about 10 in-person appointments, one listing that just went up, 2 months. Stay tuned. Maybe on the third month, fourth month, we'll do the second part. You guys are gonna hear what he has to say. I'm sure it's gonna 2x by then. So thank you so much, Luke, for this time.
10x by then. Right?
Okay, well, 10x. You hold him accountable, not me, right? So let's go ahead and do that, guys. Thank you guys so much for this time. Luke, thank you so much for this time. Honestly, it's a great pleasure. Not because you're with the Meskula or having to, I guess, use the service, but just as a human being. Just thank you for that. And let's go ahead and go after them. Thank you, guys.